Hello and welcome to a new Learn Sanskrit video, and this time we are doing the first exercises in lesson 4. And in this first exercise video we are tackling the lesson specific exercises. That is the more simple ones, which only use the vocabulary and the grammar that is presented in this particular lesson. That is number 4. So before we go on, you will have the exercises and the answers as to separate sheets that you can download from my website. So you can look in the description for a link to those. If you don't want to do that, you can just hand copy the 2 sheets I will have here on the screen, out of which the first you see here is the first one, A1, and then you want A2 as well. I'll give you 5 seconds here to copy this one, and I'll show the other one 5 seconds as well, so you can stop the video 2 times and take them down. And now 5 seconds for A2. And then let's start answering these. So first we have Gacchamaha here, and we do our transliteration. We have a long A there, Amaha, and the Visarga at the end. And we do our eswo line as usual, English with Sanskrit word order. So we all go. So this represents only the verb. This is the implicit subject in the verb, we all. Okay, we all go. And then we convert this to English. We all go. And here to the left, this is the Sanskrit Studio representation of plural for first person. Because we need to distinguish the plural from the dual, we two. So we're not just using the single word we here. So but this is for clarity, so this way we really are sure that if we were to translate back, we would be sure that we would need plural in the Sanskrit for this verb, or for the pronoun that corresponds to this verb, and ultimately for the verb itself. So alright, so that's number 1, we all go. But then there's another thing we have to discuss also, and that is that here I want you to produce a parenthesis around this here. Because we don't actually have a pronoun in the Sanskrit this time. So it doesn't say vayam gacchamaha. So I want you to get used to this syntax here, or this way of writing the English sentence, that whenever we have a pronoun expressed in the English here on this line, and we put some parentheses around it, then it indicates that if we were to do a retranslation of the Sanskrit there, we would be sure to end up with the same result as that where we came from in this time here. Because if we removed the parentheses, we wouldn't know if we were to use a pronoun or not. Of course, this is obvious on the eswo line here, but I wanted because on the eswo line we have the hyphens between all the words, and that's our typical verb. Since we know go must be a verb, so then the whole expression must be a verb, or represent a verb. So that's the idea then. So don't forget the parentheses, because we will see it in other many times over in the course here. Okay, number 2 then. Te smaranti. So we do our transliteration. Te smaranti. And as we always do, te here is always long. There is no short a in in Sanskrit. So actually, I mean, if we would follow our sort of well, we are using a standard, right? So we're using the international way of doing this. So it's not like a fault on our part, but we might think that since we do the like in number 1 here, up here, with the gacchamaha, we have this macron horizontal line there indicating the long a. So then you could say, okay, if this is always a long if this is a long e a, then why is there no such macron over there? And then the answer is that this is the standard, simply. So the same thing goes for the O in the Sanskrit equivalent for the English letter O. So there we will never find a macron above that either, but that's always long also. Alright, so let's go on here. Te smaranti. Okay, so te then here could mean we haven't, since we only did the plural as of lesson 4, we are not aware that there are many other te pronouns in Sanskrit. So we wonder then which te is this, and but this is because it is plural here, smaranti. We can look at the verb first and see that it is it's plural, and therefore it must be a masculine variant. So it's they all and they all fits perfectly with the plural and third person. They all am, as we usually do it, and they all remember, which is the representation of the verb. They all remember. So, and this is our eswo there, and in English they all remember. And what I'm doing usually here is I'm doing like that to indicate that they all, the one that ends up here is this one here. So I'm converting this one, the pronoun representation here, converting this down here. All that is from the pronoun, and that I'm just the implicit subject in the representation of the verb here. I just skip it because we already have over specified the subject here, but since we have a separate pronoun, so it's already. And the pronoun actually not only determines the subject, but it determines the subject more than the implicit subject in the verb. Because in the pronoun we know that the word that is referred to is of masculine type. It's not necessarily of masculine biological gender, but it is of masculine linguistic gender, at least. Alright, so that's the solution to that one, or one of the solutions at least. And then we have jayata, and we can transliterate that to jayata, and that ending there is typically second person plural. We can learn to appreciate that, and we can or we can do our eswo as, and we see here it's only a verb, so we need an implicit subject, you all, and then conquer, jayati, right, conquer, you all conquer. And then we write this in English, or you all subject and the verb conquer, like that. But then we also do the parentheses because we want to indicate that there was no pronoun in the Sanskrit. Alright, so number 4. Te gachanti. Te gachanti. And so once more we have third person plural there, and they all am, and then we clarify the verb here. They all go. And in English we get they all, and we have an M here, and we have the verb go. They all go. Number 5, Yum Smarata. So we have Smarata, and it's Smarami or Smarati that we are looking at here. One form of that verb. And so Yum, we should know by now, you all. And unlike third person plural, second person plural doesn't have any indication of the gender, and neither does first person. So only third person, like in exercise or the number 2 here, and in number 4 we are gender focused here, we can say. But here, if you say just you all, you don't indicate gender. So you all, okay, so that's the pronoun, and then, but we also have you all in the as an implicit subject in the verb. So you all remember there, okay? And the result will be you all remember. And once more, I'm doing like that. I'm using the pronoun. But in this case, of course, the information is the information about who it is not there's no difference between the implicit subject and the explicit subject in terms of the identification of who or what it is. In the pronoun in number 4 here, for instance, we had the masculine information here, which sort of went above the information of just they all. But here we don't have that, so it's not really a clarification. It's more like an perhaps as an accent that we are stressing the fact maybe that you all there, you all are remembering. Maybe not someone else's, but you all remember. It could be that. It could be other things as well. But it could imply some stress. But also this, what do you call it? If you supply a pronoun, it could also be because of verse. If we're talking about like scriptures and stuff like that. Sometimes for rhythmic purposes, or for poetic purposes, they may not be exactly the same. You can have different varieties of that. So maybe you supply a pronoun, extra pronoun for rhythmic reasons, like a filler. Some authors I think sergeant. If you have read the Bhagavad Gita, this translation with all the grammar and like that, Winthrop Sargent with its State of what is it? State University of New York Press. They have. I think he talks about that like a filler, like using words as a filler. I'm not sure if he talks about pronouns as a filler, but that's the way to compose. He's talking about how to compose the verses, the stanzas, like that. Somewhere, so you can check it up if you, or check it out, rather. Okay, you all remember. And here we do have a pronouns applied, so we don't bracket you all down here on the English line. So we have yuyam already in the Sanskrit here, so this is a good representation then in English for the Sanskrit sentence. Okay, number 6. Vayam Jayamaha. Okay, Jayamaha. Long A there, Jayamaha. Okay. And first person plural, we all, and we all conquer. Conquer, and then English, we all conquer. Let's go through this once more now that we have. I'm checking this with my downloadable sheet here. I have to have it outside here, and that should be that the answers are corresponding, and I think this is pretty good. Okay, looks good. And now let's go on to sheet A2. Try to do that. So we all remember. Okay. So we do our eswo. Now the eswo line is the first line we fill in here, eswo, and we do our pronoun, because we know by this syntax, since we don't have any brackets or any parentheses around we all up here on the first line, we are sure that this is a pronoun we need to create this Sanskrit sentence. So we supply the pronoun, and we supply a representation of the Sanskrit pronoun here, and we supply a representation of the verb, so we can actually be sure to produce, so we can get the right person and the right number. So we need a first person, we, and we need all. That indicates plural, Sanskrit plural, not just English plural, but Sanskrit plural. Alright, And so we go to we all. We have to know that vayam is we all, and we have to know that remember is smarati, and the form we need in this case is smaramaha. Like that, vayam smaramaha. And now we just need to produce our produce our Devanagari here, which it's not always so easy to make it beautiful. But this is what I can offer you. But it is a challenge since the letters I'm creating are so big, so I have to, it's like drawing. I say that a lot, but it's not like writing, it's more like drawing for me here, since the scale is so big. Then alright, so vayam smaramaha. A little longer there perhaps, but okay. Number 2. They all conquer. We do our eswo. They all and they all conquer. Okay, and they all is te. Te, and now they are conquering something. Okay, jayati, right? And but we need the third person plural form, so it's jayanti. Te jayanti. And we need to go to the deva line here. Te jay. Something like that. Okay, you all go, but we have you all within parentheses, so we just clarify the verb here on our eswo line without any pronoun, and then we just know that's going, so it's gachasi. Oh, gachati, some form of that, and it's you all, so it's plural and second person, which will have the ta ending. So we will have to write gacha ta here and do our Devanagari down here. Oh, no, it's not dual, it's plural. Okay, sorry. So only one word then in the Sanskrit. Okay, number 4. They all go. So we write our eswo here. They all go. And te, and we have gachati here, but we need the third person form, or sorry, the plural form, not the singular form. Gachanti we need instead, and then we just render it, render it in Devanagari. Okay. Yeah, okay. Te gachanti. And number 5, you all remember. And we note here that there's no parentheses around the pronoun, so we assume that this is a pronoun we need. You all. And we clarify the verb. You all remember. And so you all, yam, and we have smarati here in some form. It's second person here, plural, so smarata. Uyam smarata. And we go to Devanagari here. Uyam smara ta. Okay, like that. And in the last case here, we do have a bracketing here of we all. So so we need no pronoun then, and we just do a clarification of the verb. We all conquer. Oh, whoops! We all conquer. And jayati, but in first person, plural. So jayamaha. Jayamaha. Okay, and end of sentence. Okay, like that. Okay, so now let's see, let's check here with my sheet. Number 1, vayam smaramaha. Number 2, te jayanti. Number 3, gacchata. Number 4, te gachanti. Number 5, yuyam Smarata, and number 6, Jayamaha. Okay, that seems to be correct, and so we are at the end there of this video, and I hope you have enjoyed this, and you are so welcome to the next exercise video, where we will do the more demanding exercises, where we are using all our accumulated vocabulary and grammar up until now. So see you in the next video. Have a great day, and bye bye.